All right, welcome to another episode of Lakeside View. I'm your host, Big Win. Along with me, I got Mario in the house. Happy Father's Day, my man.
What's going on? You too, man.
All right, appreciate you coming in.
Happy Father's Day to everybody out there watching too.
Yes.
Any dads?
Thank you guys for coming back on Sunday. Appreciate it. Here to talk about breaking news that happened yesterday.
Crazy.
Oh man, you guys, you and David hit me up. I was coming out of the nail shop, and I'm looking at my phone, and I almost had a heart attack.
Oh, you didn't know?
I had no idea.
Oh, wow.
My
Okay.
phone was on the side of me. I couldn't check it. So I looked down, I saw notifications.
Yeah.
I pulled it down, and you guys I was like, oh my God, this can't be real.
Yeah.
So I pulled up the news, and sure enough, we traded for Anthony Davis.
Yeah, man, that was cool. I was actually at a buddy's house, and we were all hanging out, and I just started getting alerts, and I was like, what is happening? You heard all the rumors. I was reading Twitter constantly, and a couple people I followed try to get any kind of hints to anything.
Yeah.
And once I saw all these alerts, and they were the certain sports alerts you have on your phone, I was like, something had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Either we didn't get them, or we got them. Luckily, we got them. I'm sure you gave your opinion on everything, on how everything came to it. The last video.
Mm-hmm.
My whole thing was that Winslow will do, or he'll tell you from the jump. I didn't like the route we initially went last year. I was not a fan of the LeBron trade or LeBron signing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like going that route. I thought it was a horrible timing for our roster. It has nothing to do with the hate on LeBron. I mean, he's obviously at his peak, but I didn't like the timing of it. I didn't like the signing of it, the signing of him at this moment in the Lakers' whole rebuild. Mm-hmm. I thought it was poorly executed with who they brought in after him and all that kind of thing. But it came to the point where this offseason, I even had to shift it of, well, he's here.
Right. Yeah.
You have to do something now.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's here, it's not. It can't be me just being stubborn the whole time of, you know what, forget this guy, let him rot out for 3 years because we weren't ready for him. It's now like you have to just fully commit now.
Definitely.
Anthony Davis is fully committing, and you have to take advantage of the few years LeBron has left, especially the 3 that he has here with us,
Mm-hmm.
whether he plays after that or not. But I mean, it was the right move. It had to happen, and people who are going and over exaggerating about the picks, relax. I mean, the picks are, man, those could be late round picks for all you know, with whatever the Lakers do with this new team they're about to put together.
Yeah.
Those could be in the high 20s, even 30s. So relax with the future picks. It's not back-to-back years. We're going to get our first next year. We're all right.
Definitely.
So stop over exaggerating about the picks. We're okay there.
And I think that's part of the problem. I mean, you go back to the Four-Letter Network. I watched Ramona Shelburne talk about, the Pelicans can control the Lakers draft for the next 7 years potentially. Slow down.
Yeah.
First of all, you're talking about the years that they have the pick swap. Again,
Yep.
if these picks are going to be late first-round picks, New Orleans isn't going to want that.
No.
You look at what
One's
Phoenix...
protected.
Oh, yeah, one is protected. So you look at what Phoenix had, and everybody was excited about Ayton and Devin Booker and all these youngsters playing together. These guys are going to take time to have to gel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Zion Williams coming in from Duke, you're going to have to incorporate him in the offense. You're going to have to incorporate literally everybody on your roster, with the exception of Drew Holiday, into your offense.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time. These kids aren't going to just gel overnight. On top of that, these picks that we're going to have, like you said, they're going to be late first-round picks. Why would New Orleans want to swap with us on those? So if you're going to be excited about late first-round picks, hey, more power to you. Mm-hmm. But in this situation, I think we made off pretty well. The 3 guys that we gave up, we had a fondness of them. I like Josh Hart. I liked his work ethic. Brandon Ingram has the potential to be a star. Lonzo Ball is a good defensive guard. But they all have their deficiencies as well.
Big ones.
Again, all 3 of these guys cannot stay healthy. Mm-hmm. We relied on these cats to show us, okay, here's what you guys can do when LeBron was out. Unfortunately, we didn't see the results that we needed to. We slipped out of the playoffs entirely when LeBron was gone.
Big time.
And I mean, it's a situation that we're looking at like, hey, look, we need, like you said, we need to capitalize on this guy's 3 years that we have left. Who better do that than Anthony Davis?
Yeah.
So
and it was what needed to be done. It was the biggest name out there. Yeah, you could say we could have waited a year, but I mean,
why risk it?
What could have happened this year if it got worse? I mean, get it done now.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we've seen what happened with Paul George. Everybody thought he was coming to LA. He ended up staying in Oklahoma. We see what happened with Kawhi Leonard. Who knows where he's going to go? He might stay in Toronto. He just won a championship. He might go to the Clippers. We don't know for sure. I mean, all the times that we've sat back and waited, we haven't gotten the results we needed. Rob Pelinka got aggressive, went out and got the guy we needed, and now we have our future building block.
Yep.
Can't be more excited about what the Lakers did. I mean, this is what it is to be a Laker fan.
Yeah.
You know, you sit here and you wait for these guys to make a big move, and sure enough, they made a big move. So now we got to get into the whole filling out the roster situation.
Yep.
You got about $28 million to play with. The news came out that New Orleans is going to want to consummate this trade on the 6th of July as opposed to later on in the month. So we're not going to have that rookie pay scale to factor in.
Value.
We got to get some guys in here. Obviously, the first person we're looking at, Kemba Walker, Kyrie. What do you think?
Few videos back we talked about who we wanted to go after free agency, who were our main priorities. Of course, all of us were looking at big names: Kawhi, Kyrie. Even talked about Durant.
Yeah.
Even talked about, which by the way, I mean that's a huge deal too. Durant and Clay both going to be hurt for at least half the year. It looks like. So that affects free agency so much. It not only the Warriors, but free agency as a whole and the guys who are out there left.
Yeah, the whole league.
So we were talking about the big guys. We were talking about all those. And then we talked about who could be that second tier level or who could be that guy who's kind of sneaky. We don't really know. I mentioned back then Kemba Walker, and I'm going to mention Kemba Walker again. I think Kemba Walker he could play off the ball, which is huge. As a point guard who can play off the ball the way he does, with LeBron handling it like he's going to, that's the huge plus to me. I would argue Kemba could be better off the ball than even Kyrie can. Kyrie's that playmaker. Kyrie is the guy who needs the ball in his hands and he's going to be a freak. He can come off screens and do well, but I feel like Kemba catches and shoots. He can move better off the ball. He's a little bit. I think he could gel a little bit better with LeBron that way. Where Kyrie's, of course, like he should. He's a superstar. He wants the ball first.
Right.
He wants to handle it.
Definitely.
I think for this team, Kemba's the way to go. I mean, of course, I'm not mad that they're going to maybe try to make a move for Kyrie, but Kemba's the way to go simply because his style with LeBron and how it'll go, he's young, and I think he can be cheaper.
Definitely.
Even though we know Charlotte can give him more. Charlotte can give him his full max value of his contract, all that kind of thing. But there's something that happens, and we talked about before we went live right now. Who's giving us those Udonis Haslem type contracts when Udonis Haslem was doing that for the Heat and the Big Three?
Definitely.
Who's going to give us those type of contracts? It could start right there with Kemba, and instead of taking a full 30 plus, maybe he looks at 24 to 25 a year.
Definitely.
I mean, who's mad about making $4 or $100 million over 4 years and playing with Anthony Davis and LeBron James?
Right.
So I think Kemba Walker for me is priority number one. If you make that, I mean, right there with them, of course, there's already rumblings about Kyrie Irving. But if you miss out on those two top point guards, I think that's where you then look back at that Jimmy Butler style and you see that defensive type of stopper guy, a guy who can also score, and he also doesn't need the ball like 24/7 to actually be effective. So to me, my priority is going to be Kemba.
Okay. I agree with you 100%. I mean, you go back to the Ron Artest days with the Lakers, and Ron Artest didn't sign for a big number. I think it was like 5 years, 35 mil, something like that. But what he did was he had a lot of commercials in Los Angeles. He got a deal with the Lakers that they actually put him in the Steve Harvey movie, Act Like a Man.
Yeah,
I mean, Ron Artest had little purple shorts on.
He did.
But the thing is that if you come to the Lakers, you're going to supplement your income with off-court opportunities that you're not going to get in Milwaukee. You're not going to get in Texas. You're not going to get anywhere else.
Not going to get in Toronto.
You're not going to get in Toronto.
But it's not going to be Kawhi.
Right. But exactly. You're not going to get a lot of these opportunities elsewhere. I mean, the Lakers have, the finger on the pulse of the entertainment world.
Yeah.
So if you're Kemba Walker and you're like, hey, you know what? I can get a little bit more money here, but you come to LA, you take a little bit of a haircut, I guarantee you the Lakers are going to make that money up. They're going to get you that difference.
Big time.
So I agree with you 100%. I think Kemba Walker's game gels with not only LeBron, like you said, being able to play off the ball, but also with Anthony Davis. I mean, you look at what Kemba was able to do with guys like Nicholas Batum, with guys like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually made these guys look somewhat decent.
Yeah.
We all know Batum is a journeyman. He was with Portland, went over to Charlotte, didn't really pan out the way that they thought he would. but Kimba was able to prolong their careers with the type of style that he played, and I think that he'll do the same thing over here in LA.
Yeah.
I would really, really, really like to have Kimba Walker in the fold. He's already come out and said he's willing to take less money to stay with Charlotte for whatever reason. I don't know. If you're eligible for the Supermax and you're going to be in the city that
When
you're
did he
in.
say it though? Did he say it before Anthony Davis went to the Lakers?
He did say it before Anthony Davis went to the
Okay,
Lakers.
so man, that kind of stuff affects these players.
Definitely.
I mean, it
Definitely.
can totally change things. I mean, I'll say everything that I could say, for a town that I'm sure treated him well.
Definitely.
Treats him very good. And he's
Definitely.
probably happy there, probably has some property, probably has a home.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
But Anthony Davis, 26 years old.
Yeah.
And you
People
could
forget
play with
that
him
he's
for the
young.
next 4 years
Yeah,
if you want.
yeah.
I mean,
or longer.
that could change.
Yeah.
That could change things.
Yeah.
I know we wanted to talk about too. I mean, those are the big guys who are going to be sinking their teeth deep into our cap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those other moves, those other small ones, we need to, of course, I mean, even though it's like a lot of people think, oh, just filling out roster, man, you still want to be as smart as possible. You still want to bring in guys that are going to be able to be really nice pieces to this team.
Definitely.
I think that's really big, with especially, knowing what you could bring in for the big cap hit,
Mhm.
and then knowing what's going to be left over from everything else.
Right.
What do you think? Who you think, as far as just a few names maybe out there? We're not going to put together the whole depth chart,
Right.
but like a few names you would like them to see possibly talk to.
So, as we all know, it's no secret the Lakers suffered from a lack of shooting last year. I definitely would like to see them bring Reggie Bullock back, depending on what his number looks like. Possibly somebody like Trevor Ariza. You know, Trevor was with the team, 10 years ago. Oh, God, 10 years ago.
Should have never left.
Should have never left.
Should have never left.
He tried to leverage the situation with Houston and he literally got the same deal that Ron Artest got. He played himself.
Yeah.
Never really got to the finals ever again. Maybe you bring Trevor back at a decent number. There's a few other guards that you're looking at. Derrick Rose is out there. I don't know if, he's willing to come in at a decent price. He's coming off
Played
of
well.
Definitely coming
Played
off
really
a resurgent
well. I think he's looking to make a little bit more money. But I like that name.
It's
I like
possible.
that name.
It's possible, but I mean, just in terms of his ball handling ability,
Yeah.
and he's never really gotten close to the final. I mean, this guy is a former MVP.
Yeah.
And I think he would be a good guy to go look at.
He was fun to watch last year.
Oh yeah. Again, he
Really
came off
fun.
a resurgent season.
Yeah.
You're looking at guys like Seth Curry. Seth Curry, Steph's brother. He's a free agent this year.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, I mean, he might be looking to get paid. He's a guy that has had some stints in the D League, had some unfortunate situations, had a couple broken legs. Now he's looking at a situation like, hey, I'm finally healthy. I had a decent year last year.
Mm-hmm.
The guy shot around 42% from the three-point line.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might be a guy that if he's at a decent number, maybe he's willing to say, hey, look, I'm willing to go play for less, 1 or 2 years with the Lakers, build up my resume, and then maybe I'll look to sign a big contract.
Because I think he's only about 26 himself?
I believe he's in his mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
He's a little bit younger.
Okay.
So I think that's a guy that you look at. I don't know. There's several, free agents out there. You got your Jeff Teagues. Speaking of, Minnesota point guards.
Yeah.
You got your Ricky Rubios. There's a lot of different guys
Teague
out
over
there.
Rubio. I would think, just talking out loud, Teague is someone that I wouldn't mind looking at as that possible backup guard
Mm-hmm.
to come in and do something. Rubio kind of scares me. I think he would honestly I think he'd be a little bit overwhelmed.
Mm.
I think you need to get a guy who's going to be confident. We talked again too about a little bit off camera, and I mean if last year didn't go the way it went, and then if Rondo didn't talk about it a little bit more last week,
Maybe
I
Rondo
initially didn't want Rondo back, but
Mhm.
once we made this move, I think Rondo could slide into this roster really nicely, but he's probably looking for a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
He's probably looking to make a little bit of money before this his career ends. And to be honest, I think he may have ruffled some feathers. I think maybe he didn't love the way LeBron handled everything last year. I don't think it's going to be a good fit, but that is what I'm looking for as to who's going to have to play with these guys. Who's going to have that confidence to do something.
Right.
Because, I think that's Ariza. Ariza, to me, you brought up Trevor Ariza right now. He's a guy who has confidence. He's not scared to take a shot. He's not scared to see other teammates on the floor with him like LeBron or Anthony Davis and say, no, I'm in the corner hitting this three.
Right.
Like, he's going to have that confidence. I think that's what they have to focus on for this team.
I agree.
You got to bring in those guys who are just have that confidence. I think you have to definitely look at JaVale McGee and have a conversation with him and say, hey, you know, this is a guy who's won a championship.
Dude,
you know,
yeah.
he knows what it's like. He
Yeah.
played well last year.
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, that first half of the season, he was playing very well.
He's one of our more consistent players.
He really was.
Definitely.
So you look at him, you have a conversation and say, hey, do you want to try this again? Do you want to do this again? He can still get paid after another year or so if he'd like somewhere else. But is he going to give you, again, like I said, that Haslam contract? Is he going to come in and be like, all right, I'm going to fight for this team. I'm going to fight to make a run in this. And I'm going to do it for cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to have to ask these guys, mid-level exception type situation,
That
or
means-
to fill out the small little salary cap you're going to have left. You're
Yeah.
going to have to ask these guys, listen, we can't pay you this. But that's where the off-season stuff, or off-the-court stuff can help in LA.
Mhm.
Get them an appearance somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
get them an appearance in an HBO series
Yeah.
somewhere. Hey, I'll get you in an episode of Ballers or
Little
something like that,
cameo, yeah,
right?
let's say
You know,
Ballers,
come on,
cameo
let's
spot.
do
Yeah,
it.
definitely,
But
definitely.
like we laugh, but it's true.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, that's what LA can bring, and
Yeah.
especially if you're winning in LA.
Yeah.
That's the big deal. Those guys didn't feel it last year because they weren't winning.
Right.
Not after the Christmas break.
Right.
Okay, or Christmas game.
Yeah.
So if you're winning in LA, man, anybody in LA is gonna want you to make an appearance somewhere.
That's true.